and a little opposition research is what we have on deck today. Carm covers the NFC North for Fox Sports. She is from the city of Chicago, so she is intimately familiar with the tortured nature of the Bears fan base, and it will be curious to see what the atmosphere from her perspective is like. I know that she's not in Chicago right now, but Carmen Vitali joins us here on 104.5 The Zone. First, congratulations are in order. Let's see it. Show the people on. There it is. She got engaged. Look at the size of that rock. Congratulations, Carmen.
It's so big.
That's awesome, girl. We're happy for you.
I appreciate it. I'm very happy. We're very happy.
Excellent. Well, before we celebrate your announcement, let's talk a little football, talk a little shop. What are the vibes around Bears fans? How are they feeling? Because all I can tell from our standpoint is that the Titans are walking into a buzzsaw on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. It's like Christmas morning. I think everybody, I see it on Twitter all over the place. Like, can we just sim to Sunday? It's wild to me too that the league didn't give the Bears one of the better slots. I mean, they're playing at noon, which is kind of standard as far as Chicago goes. But at the same time, there's a lot of excitement around this team. There's a lot of excitement around Caleb Williams. He had a good camp. You saw him in those couple preseason outings, did everything you wanted him to do. It's a very small sample size. So now I think that Bears fans are really thinking the Titans are kind of an easy out, but like looking through this roster, Buck, am I crazy? Like this defense, I kind of like this defense. And I'm kind of worried for Caleb, especially with that front. I don't know. I think that the Titans are definitely being underestimated by Bears fans, but I think that's just because Bears fans are just so wrapped up in their cocoon of hope. So, I don't know, we'll see.
A cocoon of hope is something that Bears fans have been praying for, understandably so. And yeah, no, I mean, Titans fans are consistently overlooked. They're very used to the nude slot, Carm, so it's not like it's anything new to them. The defense, genuinely, I am excited to see what it looks like. In part because so few of the pieces and parts have actually played together just yet. And I know preseason is one thing, but like Jeff Simmons didn't play during the preseason. Harold Landry, L'Jarius Sneed, Chidobe Awuzie, like all the things that look very nice on paper. It's as big a question mark, I think, here for us as it is to the rest of the league. But there is a lot of excitement about the potential of it. And I think that as much to do with anything is that front, because Jeff Simmons is one thing. T'Vondre Sweat, and I know you do your research during the draft process. I don't know how you felt about him coming out of Texas, but this dude is, provided that he can stay healthy and stay in shape, is going to be an absolute menace up front. And the Bears do not have the best offensive line group.
No, and yes, I agree with you with T'Vondre Sweat. He was someone who I thought could have gone higher. In fact, in the draft, he was one of the best edges that you were going to get in this year's draft. And the health thing kind of worries me because I know that he's been injured. But at the same time, this line in Chicago is not the offensive line of old. This is actually the only unit that has any sort of continuity on the offense. I spent this summer, a couple days this summer, training with Tevin Jenkins, their left guard, and he was talking to me about how their job this year is to really take on that foundation and be that foundation for this offense. They are taking a tremendous amount of responsibility for Caleb Williams' development and his success, and therefore the offense's success as a whole. I think you're going to see kind of a renewed unit, and you do have a veteran center now in Chicago that, barring any health issues, again, is going to start with the rookie, which I think is a really good pairing given the center and quarterback relationship. So this line is going to get tested right away, but I think they're up to it. And I think that that's probably going to come as a surprise to most people outside of Chicago, even in Chicago for that matter.
Carmen Vitali is here with us. You can see her on Fox Sports. You can check her out on Fox Sports Radio. They do great work on the radio side of things. They also do the Fox Sports NFL podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts, on Twitter at CarmyV.
Carmen, Nate Davis, obviously a part of that group up front as well. He and Kevin Byard, the two former Titans in Chicago. How much should we expect to see those guys on Sunday, and what kind of impact do you think they'll make this year with the Bears?
Yeah, Nate Davis has been kind of in and out of the lineup to a lot of frustration in Chicago throughout preseason and in training camp. And the same last year. We couldn't really rely on him to stay healthy. I do expect to see him this week, and he has been in a ramp-up period and has been in pads now for the last couple of weeks in preseason. The guys are really kind of counting on him to do that, and I have a lot of faith in him though across the offensive line. That's something that struck me in talking to some of these guys, is just how much faith they do have in Nate Davis. Kevin Byard is he's such a welcome addition to Chicago's defense, especially that back end, given the fact that Eddie Jackson is gone. He kind of provides that veteran presence now too back there. I am really cautiously excited about the Bears secondary in particular, just given the fact it's now led by Jalen Johnson, who's one of the highest paid corners in the league, got his deal this offseason, and again has taken ownership over that defense. And I think that, again, I'm not sure about the depth, but between Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson even, he's somebody that Bears fans are really, really excited about. And that whole back level is going to try to pick up where they left off last year, which is, 18 interceptions in the last 10 games.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was some box score stuffing for sure by that Bears defense, because it wasn't always as good as it felt like the numbers ended up looking necessarily when you went back and actually watched those games, I felt like. But Matt Eberflus, we know the defense. We understand what it's going to look like. Montez Sweat not only led the Bears in sacks last year, he also led the Commanders in sacks last year before getting traded to the Chicago Bears. So a situation there that the rookie left tackle in J.C. Latham is going to have to be very, very cognizant of. Where do you kind of see this Bears team, though, in the landscape of the NFC North, Carm? Because the division is complicated, and I can't get off the feeling of the Green Bay Packers not being talked about as one of the best teams in football this year.
I think there's some sort of Green Bay Packers fatigue, because basically you had a giant question mark under center with Jordan Love coming in. And then once you realize that he was, again, their quarterback of the future and their third straight franchise guy, I think everybody was just like, business as usual in Green Bay. And it's true. It's absolutely wild. I think Green Bay is so unique too, in the fact they don't have an owner. The team dynamics are so different there. And it allows you to kind of take these kinds of approaches to team building that otherwise wouldn't work. I mean, where else are you going to be able to sit a guy who you drafted in the first round for 3 years and not face any sort of undue pressure from the top or from the fans or anybody else to start him right away? I think that Green Bay has a track record of doing this, so the fans trust the process. It's a process that literally dates back to Vince Lombardi. And again, not having that ownership pressure really allows them to take their time with these things. And then, after 1 year of starting, you're making Jordan Love the highest paid quarterback in the league. But it wasn't a surprise to anybody in Green Bay. That's kind of what they planned for. And when you're spending less than 10% of your total cap on your offensive weapons, you can afford to do that. And that's the thing with Green Bay too. There's not a flashy number one wide receiver that you can point to and be like, ooh, look, he's pretty. There's 4. And there's 4 guys that are going to split the work, which is what makes them so hard to defend. On top of that, you now have Josh Jacobs, so you can hopefully lean on that backfield, even with A.J. Dillon going down with injury. The offensive line, they keep retooling, and they've always been pretty good there. So this offense is going to be so incredibly potent, and the Packers are going to contend for this division right up there with the Lions this year, no doubt.
I've got people in our live stream chat taking bets on what color Caleb is going to have his fingernails painted for Sunday. You want to give him a hint? You got any idea?
I don't, but I would have to imagine it's going to be blue, navy, and orange. Who knows? It might just be letters. It might just say "Da Bears" on his fingernails. How fun would that be? He's kind of trademarked that with the bear claw now. I think he literally went after the trademark with the bear claw, which is funny because everybody made a big deal out of, if you're watching the live stream, you see the bear claw that Caleb Williams does. That's actually Northwestern's thing, as someone who went to Northwestern, but no one cares. So all of a sudden, everyone's just like, oh, this is this brand new thing that the Bears are doing because Caleb just came in and did it. And I'm like, Northwestern's been doing that forever. But
literally in the same state.
It could be a Bears thing now.
Whatever they need, right? Cocoon of Hope is what Carmen has trademarked. The feeling in Chicago right now ahead of week 1, overlooking the Titans, but they're used to it. Carm, I appreciate your time. Again, check her out on Fox Sports, on Fox Sports Radio. You can catch her on TV from time to time, and the Fox NFL podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts. Always good to see you, girl, and congratulations again.
Thanks, Becky.
Carmen Vitali of Fox Sports there with us on 104.5 The Zone.